Listen closely because we're about to completely shatter literally everything you thought you knew about money. Welcome to a high-stakes explainer, where we're unlocking part 2 of Dr. Tamer Addissouky's groundbreaking interconnected framework for mastering life. Today, we're dissecting the architecture of lawful wealth. And look, this isn't your standard, run-of-the-mill financial advice. We are going on a deep dive into the cosmic and historical laws of prosperity. This information is designed to fundamentally rewire how you view growth, value, and your own absolute potential. So I want you to ask yourself a seriously dangerous question right now. What is true wealth? Have we all been taught a massive anxiety-driven lie? You see, most of the modern world defines wealth simply as the frantic, non-stop accumulation of currency. But what if that relentless pursuit of money, just for the sake of money, is actually destroying your true wealth? What if the secret to absolute financial abundance was actually figured out thousands of years ago, and we've just completely forgotten it? Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle actually hit the nail on the head in his Politics. He separated chromatocistics, which is the unnatural, endless accumulation of money, from oikonomia, the natural, ethical art of household management. He argued that wealth is evidently not the good we are seeking, because it's merely useful for the sake of something else. Money is just a tool, guys. It is not the destination. And by the end of this explainer, you're going to discover the ultimate missing piece that turns that tool into a masterpiece of human existence. All right, let's dive right into this. Dr. Addissouky's framework reveals the 7 pillars of lawful wealth, starting with Pillar 1, knowledge capital. Make no mistake, mental capital must absolutely precede financial capital. And this isn't some trendy new concept. From the ancient library of Ashurbanipal in the 7th century BCE, all the way to modern democratized platforms like MIT OpenCourseWare and Coursera, the ultimate currency has always been knowledge. You literally cannot build a fortune without first building your mind. Think about Benjamin Franklin for a second. This is a man who practically engineered his own era's intellectual and financial revolutions. And he proved that the compounding power of knowledge is simply unmatched. Across completely different areas, historical icons universally agreed on one thing: the highest return on investment you will ever get is from investing in your own intellect and understanding. Now, all that mental capital, it completely fuels pillars 2 and 4, mastery and value creation. Pillar 2 is all about irreplaceable skill mastery. It's perfectly embodied by the Japanese concept of shokunin, or the craftsman's spirit. Think of Jiro Ono, the legendary 95-year-old sushi master. His wealth comes from dedicating a lifetime to perfecting just one single thing. Then we have Pillar 4, entrepreneurship. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who was himself a merchant, emphasized that a truthful, trustworthy merchant holds the absolute highest ethical standing. True wealth is generated by starting, taking action, and profoundly serving others through total integrity. But here is where ancient wisdom completely defies our modern assumptions. Pillar 3, strategic and ethical investments. Both the Quran and the Bible strictly prohibited usury, meaning profiting from exploitation. Instead, they demanded that wealth grow through shared risk. And guess what? This ancient wisdom perfectly aligns with today's most massive ethical investment vehicles. We're seeing real estate investment trusts pulling in 11.8% average return since 1972. Socially responsible investing has exploded into a $35.3 trillion global market. And models like Mudaraba emphasize true profit and loss sharing partnerships. Ethical wealth isn't just good, it's incredibly profitable. $4 trillion. Seriously, just let that staggering number sink in for a second. This is the exact global scale of the modern Islamic finance industry today. It stands as a monumental, real-world model proving that you absolutely do not need predatory lending to build empires. Shared risk and ethical foundations aren't just cute moral ideals anymore. They are a multi-trillion-dollar reality. So the crucial trick here is balancing these next 2 forces, pillars 5 and 6, multiply versus protect. First, passive income architecture. Just like the ancient parable of the talents teaches us, wealth has to be multiplied, not buried in the ground. You have to build assets. But equally, you absolutely must legally and ethically protect those assets from ruin. This goes all the way back to the Code of Hammurabi establishing property rights, right up to the scholar Al-Ghazali's teaching that the lawful must be kept brilliantly clear from the unlawful. You multiply aggressively, but you protect flawlessly. And that brings us to the ultimate capstone, Pillar 7, wealth as service. Across literally every major human civilization, giving is the ultimate architecture of personal wealth. Whether it's zakat in Islam, dana in Buddhism, or dana in Hinduism, the universal, unbreakable principle is this: Wealth flows abundantly to those who let it flow through them. If you hoard it, it stagnates. But if you serve with it, it multiplies. Okay, let's shift gears and zoom out from the personal to the planetary level. The World Economic Forum is tracking exactly where the future of wealth is being built right now. Quantum computing is projected to create $850 billion in annual value by 2040. Carbon markets in the EU have already hit 100 billion euros. And decentralized autonomous organizations, alongside neural interfaces, like actual brain-computer links, are entirely rewriting the rules of governance and biology. This is the new frontier of human value creation. We are heading toward a financial scale that is just mind-bending. The space economy, it's on track to hit $1.8 trillion by 2035. Personalized medicine is looking at a staggering $3.5 trillion by 2030. The wealth of tomorrow isn't found in extracting old resources. It is in solving the grandest, most complex challenges of human health and cosmic expansion. But how do entire countries actually achieve this? Well, according to economist Friedrich List, nations lift themselves from poverty to prosperity by applying these exact same pillars on a macro level. Look at Singapore. They leaped from third world to first world in a single generation by dedicating 20% of their budget to education. The Roman Empire sustained itself for 500 years through infrastructure. Israel leads global innovation by investing 4.9% of its GDP into R&D. And above all, the number one predictor of any nation's wealth remains the rule of law and solid property rights. All right, brace yourself, because here is the shocking climax of this entire explainer. We've talked about trillions of dollars, global markets, and flawless wealth architecture. But I have a very aggressive question for you. What happens when you actually accumulate it all? What is the value of every single thing we just discussed if one hidden, absolutely crucial element is missing from your life? Welcome to the ultimate wealth trap. Consider Howard Hughes. He accumulated billions of dollars, possessed unmatched resources, and yet he died in complete isolation and misery. Mere accumulation is a fatal trap. It just builds you a golden cage. True lawful wealth, however, is rooted in ethics, deep purpose, and an undeniable soul of joy. Without that joy, your bank account is nothing more than a high score in a game you are actively losing. Which brings us to our ultimate cliffhanger and the missing piece of our entire puzzle. Part 3, Be Happy. In our next explainer, we are diving deep into the science and soul of joy. We'll explore the happiness paradox, Dr. Martin Seligman's PERMA model, the actual neurochemistry of joy in your brain, and ancient wisdom that proves that without understanding the science of happiness, all your wealth is utterly useless. You absolutely do not want to miss this vital knowledge. It could completely alter the trajectory of your life. Before we wrap up with heartfelt greetings from Dr. Tamer Addissouky, مع تحيات الدكتور تامر الدسوقي, we urgently ask you to subscribe, like the video, and share this channel and explainer with anyone who needs to hear this. You can find us on YouTube at Addissouky, Ritlet Hayat. Stay safe, stay rich, but let me leave you with this. If you gained the whole world tomorrow, would your mind actually know how to be happy? Get ready for our next explainer where we answer exactly that. Warning. هذا المحتوى للتوعية العلمية فقط. See you there.